This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
I spy with my little eye something beginning with the letter A. What could that be? An A and a 5.
Oh my god.
What could it be? Ooh, it's Alpha.
So, Peta, how are you doing?
I'm good.
How was
Back in Australia.
In Australia? How was Morphicon? Morphicon. How was
not Morphicon.
How was Rangerstop?
Rangerstop. It was good. It was fantastic. So exciting. And Mikey, who's the organizer, is like so amazing. He's like such a good guy and a kind of person that you want to work with and be with. Like, he's like one of my best friends now, and Rosette as well.
Speaking of Peta, I'm speaking of Michael. He's here.
Of course he is.
I see you. We see you too, Mikey. Peta, tell us about yourself.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Let's see. I like to go for walks on the ocean. What kind of tell me about yourself? What do you want to know? Tell me.
About me, myself, or about you?
About me. What do you want to know about me?
Anything the fans
or
like.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Like how'd you get to acting? How'd you get, your life, early life, basic origin story.
Okay. So let's see. How I got into acting when I was a kid. I wanted to be an actor, and I told my dad I want to do drama school, and he was like, you want to do drama school? Because my dad was very much into making me independent. And he was like, well, then you're going to have to save your money up and do it yourself. So I was like, wow. I was like 14 or something. And in high school, I loved photography. And I was very good at it. So what I did was I had the school camera, and we had the room where you would develop pictures. And I put a advertisement in the local paper, which was Sydney-wide, and it was like kids' portfolios. And I gave a cost because I knew how much my cost of the drama school would be and how much I had to make. So I was kind of entrepreneurial, and I got responses. And then I went and to the school that I wanted to study drama at. I hired their space and their lighting and everything. And I took pictures of these kids, created portfolios for them. In my lunch break at school, instead of having lunch, I was developing pictures.
Really?
And then, yeah. And that covered my cost for my drama school. So I was 14 and I had my own business. And I didn't pay the cost of like cameras or I got wholesale cost of film and paper and everything, and doing it on like in my lunch break. So that kind of like taught me a lot in being a child that created my own business at such an early age, because I knew what I wanted to do. Right?
Yeah, like same with me. I actually wanted to be a photographer when I was younger. That's the reason I joined yearbook, but parents wanted me to become a health major. So, anyways, so my second question is, we kind of answered, but maybe you can go and round up. How did you really get started with acting? Like, what was your passion for acting?
Wow. Okay, I remember my first play. I played an angel in the Jesus Story in like kindergarten. And I was like the angel that came down from heaven. So I remember that as my first play, and I remember like throwing out my script, and I'm like, I know what I'm doing, I know the words, etc. But then, just as I said, when I wanted to study at proper theater school as a kid, and my dad said, no, you're going to be an accountant, you want to do this, you're like on your own, you need to save your own money. And then I found my own kind of business and registered it and did photography to save the money. It was a girls' workshop called Belvoir Street Theatre, which is a very famous theatre here in Australia.
I see.
And I saved my money, and I did all that, and I made the money, and I did the workshops in school holidays, which is when you do it here. And then led all the way up to like here we have a school called Actors Centre Australia, and there I met the head of NIDA Film and Television called Carlton Lamb. And then I asked him, can you be my tutor every Sunday? So I took him on as a tutor, and I'd go and see him every Sunday. And then my dream was Strasbourg Institute, because that's like one of the best schools in the world, right? The Strasbourg. And I was like, I want to be in a theater company. I had a lot of goals that I had to achieve. And so I had him for like 2 years every Sunday. I had a Marilyn, who was a accent reduction teacher. And then when I got into Strasbourg, I had Claire Koff, which is like Koff Studios, and they did Sex and City.
Oh,
she was one of the person on there as a accent person. So she was like one of my teachers at Strasbourg. And everything that I went out to achieve, I did achieve. So I got into the theater company. I won the talent contest. And that was all that I wanted to do, because it didn't matter to me about being famous, or fame is not something that matters to me. It's more, if you're an artist and you have like these soul fulfilling things and you complete them, you fulfill yourself. That's the most important thing.
Amazing. Oh, by the way, we have your friend Rosetta says hi.
Hey, Rosette.
Hi, Barry Peter. Hi, boss man.
I love you. Where's Stephanie? Stephanie, where are you?
Yeah, where is she? Come on, Michael.
She just got a nose piercing yesterday. Did you guys see?
I did.
Yeah. Where are you, Stephanie? Huh?
Yeah, Michael, get her in here.
Watching me.
We know you're a model. Modeling. How'd you get started with modeling?
So photographic modeling.
Mm.
What happened was, I finished high school, and there was a recession in Australia.
Mm.
And even just for a normal job, you couldn't get a normal job. There was no work at all. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Hong Kong. And I have no idea where I got this idea from. I'm blessed. I think I get insight. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to try my luck. And if it doesn't work, doesn't matter. I can come back, because that's what happens. You can come back. But I got blessed. I went to Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, you could have like as many agents as you want compared to Australia. Because Australia, there's a union. You can have one agent. You can't have like multiple. Hong Kong, I had like 20 agents. I was going castings every day. I was getting work all the time. And finally, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to stay here until the recession ends in Australia. And then I got to work in like film and television. I got to work for Radio Television Hong Kong, ATV, everything. This is pre-97. So it was still like British rule. So I was so blessed. And I got to work in Shanghai at Shanghai Film Studios with Gung Li. Gong Li back then, I mean, if anyone that is Asian knows, like, she was a superstar. I got to work in a Chinese film as an actor, as an like only in English speaking. Everybody else was like Charlie Young, big stars that I got to work with. How blessed was I?
Yeah, it is very
right.
special. Yeah, it's very special. Once in a lifetime.
There's not many people that can say that they have done that, and I got to work with stunt like martial arts, seeing the martial arts, Golden Harvest.
Ooh.
That was who I was signed up with when I did my movie. That is a blessing because Chinese film is huge, and there are so many Chinese movies that are copied and then redone in America. Right?
I know. Yes, it is.
So I got to like meet like Chow Yun-fat, John Woo. Yeah. I got that. Oh my God. Right?
I
had no idea at that time who these people are.
And now they're superstars.
And then when I got back, I finished the film there, and the English title was How Deep Is Your Love? And then I went straight into Power Rangers. And I did a whole lot of commercials.
Speaking of Power Rangers, there's actually a important question. Can you tell us about the audition process for Power Rangers?
Okay, so audition was like, I went in and had no idea because it wasn't being screened in Australia. Like, we didn't have on television. So I trained as a dancer, and I went in and did robot moves and this and that. And then went again, it was at Liz Mulliner's casting. And there was so many like callbacks. And then the final callback was where Ivan Ooze comes out. Yeah, where he's discovered. But it was actually John Landau he was head of 20th Century Fox. So he was kind of like standing there, and there was three of us. And one guy was too short, and the other girl was too tall. And then it was kind of just me, and he was like, yep, you got the part. And then signed the contract, this and that. So yeah.
So
that's how it works. And then I was at rehearsals, and we were sitting in a circle on the ground with our legs crossed. And I had to do for me, I could not do a normal voice for the robot character. So I did a robot voice, which was very similar, and I'd never heard of it. And Brian Spicer was like, who's the director, just do a normal voice. And I was like, no, I can't. I cannot do a normal voice. Like, hello, Rangers. Like Australian. Oh, hello. G'day. Oh, Rangers, hold on. What's he going to do?
Oh, yeah.
That would be Australian, right? That would sound so bad. But I was kind of like, when it was it was exactly ay.
Oh my God.
I've never heard Richard's voice before.
Oh, by the way, your friend Carlos Alexander Montoya says hi.
Carlos, I love you.
Yeah.
Carlos, my handler.
I'm here, he says. And Rosetta says,
here, I love you.
Rosette says, love you too and miss you.
Where's Michael?
Michael's here.
I love you. Stephanie, I love you.
He's trying to get
Stephanie. You guys.
Okay.
There she is. I saw Stephanie quickly. I saw her pop up.
I knew. Well, Stephanie, comment so we can see you. Or I can,
Filming. It was hard work.
Mm-hmm.
I had like firefighters that would carry me onto set. So there was like 10 steps up to the set. The command center was huge.
Right.
My costume, they didn't know that I would not be able to breathe in the costume. So it was like a full body latex costume. And then on top of that was foam, ridged with rubber. And then on top of that was the metal pieces.
Mm-hmm.
That took an hour to put on.
Hmm.
So I think I said at the talk that we had for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers at Rangerstop was like how I passed out after filming, like the making of, because I was going back and forth, and I had a choreographer, Steve Love, who was the second assistant director. His wife Jeannie was my choreographer, and then he went on to do Planet of the Apes and Malcolm in the Middle, and then he took me on set there like years later. But Jeannie was my choreographer because I could not see it all. At all.
Dang, really?
So
Oh,
I want you to imagine that you're
before
having to walk in a costume that your body can't breathe in, and you're walking for like 300 meters or something.
Dang.
Cannot see from one end, and then you're having to press buttons and turn around and talk to rangers and when they're standing and everything. But you can't see where they are. You can't see where the buttons are. So you're memorizing steps as if it was a dance. That's how I had to learn it. So that was pretty much it. And then when I'd go off set, I would have to sit there with oxygen tanks
Oh my god.
and tubes to get air into my body, so that because it would take so long to get out of the costume and in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think of the lighting. How hot is that lighting when you're filming as well, right?
Yeah, that is hard. Just to hear it. Oh my gosh, like.
So it was not an easy job, and it was fun in Rangerstop where like Barbara Goodson and Romy, they didn't know the work that I did, and they were like shocked and surprised. And especially Barbara, she's a comedian. She should actually be a comedian. But she was like, I had no idea that that's what you had to do. And I'm like, yeah.
I see. Oh, before we go to the next question, Stephanie's here.
Stephanie,
She says, "Hi guys." Hey Stephanie.
I love you.
Shy Hall says, "Hey Peta."
Hey Shay, how are you?
Oh, Shay. I thought it was Shy.
I call him Shay.
Chris J. Murphy says,
Chris
"Oh, sorry,
Murphy.
And Stephen Rakes.
Hey
Love
Stevie
your shirt.
Rakes. So Stevie Rakes,
He
he
says,
runs Power Rangers Universe, and I am an admin for him.
yes, he told me that, and that's very lucky. You're lucky, Steven. He says, "Hey, Peta."
Love you, Stevie.
Oh, and yeah, Steve, I'm wearing your shirt. I love it.
Hey, Shay.
Alright, so the next. So the
Where's
next.
Mikey? Because I told Mikey.
Mikey's here. He says, "Did you ever work in Star Wars?" Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did.
What?
I did do Star Wars.
I hear about it. Oh yeah, I want to hear about it.
So I did Star Wars in like, oh my goodness, 99, 2000. And what happened? This is how I got Star Wars, right? So I went to a friend of mine's theater raising, what would you call it, where they wanted to do a tour of Edinburgh and tour the world with their production. So it was at like a theater pub place, and you paid so much a ticket, and then it was fundraising, and people like donated stuff. And there I met two people who were part of the costume department or something. And they were like, we're having a party at our house or the apartment. Come back to our apartment. So we all went back there and we were reading the scripts of Star Wars. And they're like, how would you like a part in Star Wars? I was like, yeah. So my agent's goddaughter, because my agent, who's not my agent anymore, his name's Martin Bedford. His goddaughter was there. And these people were there, and they took my details, etc. In this time, my car got broken into. They like robbed me of like They smashed my window, took out my jacket. It was a label called Pigs in Space, and it was a beautiful jacket, leather, got stolen. So I went home the next week. At this time, I was running a business. I had a company with my ex-husband. He was a hairdresser, and we had a hair salon down in an area called Double Bay, which is in like Beverly Hills. So I got this job on Star Wars. And so they called me up and they're like, come down to Fox Studios, which is where it was being filmed. So I went down for costume fittings and I had all these different like alien costumes. And the girl, or the lady actually, that made my costume, the latex part, the underbody for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, was the head of costume for Star Wars. And I believe her name was Gabrielle. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then we caught up and everything, etc. And then I went to catering, which is like, you know, where you eat lunch. And then I was standing in line. It wasn't a line really. It's like you go around and you pick out your food. And I was standing next to Natalie and George. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. I'm next to George Lucas. That's like how everyone reacts, right? When you're standing next to George Lucas. Because it was so surreal that rather than like when I did Power Rangers and I auditioned, even though I was doing like these background characters, that I was standing next to them in catering. That was exciting. Because I love George Lucas. I love Star Wars. And now I have to like find. I like wrote to my accountant in an email. I need proof that I worked on Star Wars, and he's like, I don't keep 18 years of proof. So I literally have to write to my tax department now. Do you have evidence that I worked on Star Wars so that I can prove that to people? Because one of the scenes is in the deleted scenes where it's like these pods and you can see me in the background, but I've got like this alien head on. And I got to tell you, like Alpha 5, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. My body couldn't breathe. But this one was like I was sitting in the chair and there was two others and we repeated scenes or whatever. But every 5 seconds, I was like, taking deep breaths because you could not breathe at all in this costume. And that's nuts, right?
It is
like,
nuts.
Okay, hold the breath. Hold the breath. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did do Star Wars. It's true. But
so
I need evidence kind of thing to like do it for my convention stuff.
yes, better call Disney then, because I think they have it. We know that. Can you tell us more about your work in charitable organizations?
Charitable? Oh,
yeah.
Lots.
Yes.
Okay, so that's something that's very important to me. I've done. Okay, so 1996, I was a producer for a show which had it was like a dance-based show, and we had 15 producers from across Australia and the world, Japanese, and we raised $67,000 for the Sydney Children's Oncology Department. One of the producers from Japan that came out, I was like, wow. I learned his background because my dream was to be a live show producer. That was one of my goals in my life. And I said to him, listen, if you're going to be doing shows in Australia, what did you do with your hand then? Why are you covering my face?
Oh, sorry, it was just
I'm going to cover your face.
My dog is like coming home.
I said to him, my goal is to be a live show producer, but I need a mentor Because to me, mentorship is so important in your life because that's how you learn everything. And he said, well, yeah, sure. I'm going to be doing like 2 to 3 shows a year in Australia. And if you want to assist me, that's fine. But I need a person to do costume. And I said, oh, I can do costume. I know, I love costume. I know costume. I had no idea, right? But all I wanted was for him to be my mentor. So, following on, he came out and I was like, I don't need to be paid. Like, he didn't pay me. And I was like, not until you think that I'm worthy of being paid. And it's a very different mentality of work from Japan. And luckily, I spoke Japanese. I lived in Japan for a year.
Wow.
I taught myself katakana and hiragana, so I could actually read Japanese as well. My Japanese got shorter because as the years go by, when you go back to your country and you learn other languages, you forget that language. And I know when I lived in Italy, for my mind, I went from English to Italian. No, English to Japanese to Italian. And I spoke Italian like a Japanese person. So this gentleman, he took me on. And this is a guy that toured the world with Vidal Sassoon. And Vidal Sassoon was like the #1 hairdressing organization in the world back in the 60s and the 70s. He toured Harlem Globetrotters. What is it, Globetrotters?
Basketball team?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harlem Globetrotters.
This guy like toured people, and I'm like, I want to be you. Wow. So he took me on, and a couple of years later, he started paying me. And also, by then, with costume, I knew what I was doing. I got to tell you, because these people were turning up on a Friday. I was organizing casting. I was casting like hundreds of people auditioning, and then out of those people they choose like 10 per team or whatever, and then I'd have to do the costume that would go between 4 different looks, and this had to be done by Sunday, and I was measuring, and I learned so much and pushed myself so much because my goal and my dream was to be a live show producer. Even though he said I needed the costume person, and that was where I was like, yep, I can do that. So after a couple of years, I started getting paid. I was getting paid a lot of money, and it took me right to where World Youth Day in Australia in 2008, the Pope came out, and I had a job interview to be like the head stage manager at Ramwick. But then I also got the role of the youth festival director. I would not have been able to do that role if I had not done all those other goals with him as a live show producer, because this went worldwide and this was televised around the world to 1 billion people. And I had to direct the show. That is a big deal.
It is a big deal. That is a big
right?
deal. Yes.
So all the gifts that you can get during your life, if you want to be something in your life, it doesn't matter how small, how big it is, whatever, try to get a mentor. Find a mentor. Find a person that can give you the skills. And it doesn't mean that you need to be paid, because the minute you learn skill by skill by skill by skill, and you're learning and learning and learning, when you have those things, it's like you've got a magic bag, and that bag is your skills, and that's your little Harry Potter magic bag, right?
I love Harry Potter.
And you cannot be better than who you are without emulating someone or having a mentor. because it's very easy to go to university and study books, and that's something that you need to do sometimes, and you need to get your master's or whatever, like I want to do with art therapy. But with my art therapy, I've had to do my background in arts and teaching and healthcare and all that kind of stuff. You can't just rely on books.
Mm.
You need to find yourself a mentor.
Yes.
Right?
It is. Especially for the people in still college, find a mentor. That's a good advice. We will still, like me, when I was still in college, I just finished 6 months ago, graduated. I literally found mentors to help me out because just learning it won't help. So
exactly. It's like an internship, but instead of internship where you're turning up to an office and you're like finding, okay, who do I want to be like? I want to be like this person. You approach that person and they have a choice. It's 50-50 choice. They're going to say yes or no. If they say yes, because you're saying you don't need to pay me, but I want your skills. I want to be just like you.
Yes.
Who doesn't want somebody coming up to them and telling them, I want to be just like you?
That is. Yes, that's
right.
Yep. Okay, so Peta, so my next question is, we know that you're a fashion designer, a stylist. Can you briefly explain?
Stylist. No, fashion stylist and art direction.
Sorry, stylist. Can you briefly explain your work in that field?
Okay, so I used to own a hair salon with my ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
And we went into like doing fashion shows and photo collections for competitions. So photo collections for competitions, you have to have like 6 pictures. And it's not just like the hair, it's the art direction, it's the fashion, it's the photography, it's the makeup. It's a whole thing because this is going to be published around the world, right? Mm-hmm. So he's an amazing hairdresser. He's remarried now to a beautiful woman called Lisa, and they've got 2 kids, and they're absolutely adorable. And his wife is beautiful. And I used to be the person that organized the models and then did the art direction and did the clothing. And then we got published. And we won awards, and we got published again, and we won awards, and I just had the right formula all the time. It's kind of like I guess it's having insight into what next season's is before the season comes out. So, for example, we did a collection, and I did pearls, and I did this look and that look and that look. That year, when I did it, pearls were not in fashion. But the following year, pearls were. So we got published. So I had the right insight into forward thinking of fashion.
I see.
And that to me was a blessing because I don't know where I got it from. But I've had like over 10 covers of magazines. Like I've been published in hundreds of magazines. That's a blessing.
It is. It is a blessing, especially for your talent. Oh, there's my friend asking a question. She's asking, how's Australia?
Right now?
Yeah.
My goodness, it's windy. There's like a huge dust storm.
Damn.
Yeah. So if you Google New South Wales dust storm, you're going to see red earth, red dust flowing across New South Wales. Have a look, Ryan. Tell me. Are you looking now?
Yeah, I'm just typing. What's it called? Oh, I lost it. What's it called again?
So red. NSW in capital letters.
NSW?
Uh-huh. And then dust storm.
So it's Nest Dust Storm.
NSW.
Oh, NSW. NSW.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay, guys. So viewers, so this is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like fire, but it's dust. and the winds are bad. So I'm like 2 minutes from the ocean. This morning when I got up, the wind was bad. The sky was covered with dust. And then now it's like blue skies because it's moved out. But we get that kind of stuff. And it's supposed to be summer. So this time last year, it was like 110 degrees.
Wow.
Now, this year, it's changed. It's like 70 degrees.
Yeah, LA weather. That's perfect.
Yeah. So we're actually the same exactly as Florida and Los Angeles. Friend, his name's Josh Grow. He's a famous actor in Los Angeles. And I was with him the week, like, before I went to Florida. And he still has not seen coyotes.
What? Really?
Right?
What?
I'm sure it was him. Coyotes, skunks. I'm like, huh?
Dude, like, yeah, I think like,
dude, you
Griffith
live
Park.
in Los Feliz and you have not seen coyotes crossing from Griffith Park?
Like,
right? Like, that's like a nightly thing. Like, I'm driving. There's a coyotes.
Skunk, I'm like, yeah, skunk maybe, but coyotes just go to Griffith Park or anywhere else.
That's like normal, right?
Or go to Burbank.
I haven't seen a bear, and I said to him, my fear is bears.
Yeah, me, I'm afraid of snakes. I'm scared of snakes.
Well, we were like, Australia has the deadliest snakes. In the world.
I'll think
and spiders.
Yeah, spiders, nah. Spiders, I'm okay with it. I mean, I love Spider-Man, so I'm not afraid of spiders. So my next, two more questions. What is your advice to an aspiring actor or actress?
Expiring?
Yeah, what is your advice to anyone?
So there's a stamp on a person that says you have expired. Explain expired to me.
Oh, I mean aspiring. Sorry, aspiring.
Oh, aspiring.
Yeah, sorry.
That wants to.
Yeah, wants to. I know. Sorry.
Hey, you're expired. Wait, Spider-Man. Expired. Okay, aspiring.
Yeah, aspiring.
For me personally, I would say to do your training, to go to technical training. I went to Strasbourg. I did my method training. Always being yourself. There is a great Australian site that every Sunday I tune into called the Audition Technique. And that is a site where a casting director who I've known for like 25 years, his name's Greg Apps. He gives the most amazing advice, and it's for free there on the Audition Technique. But he also can sign you up to like online pilot courses, and he does pilot casting. So finding somebody like that can guide you in either like private sessions, because tutoring to me was always a part of my life, where I had the head of NIDA, Carlton Lamb, who was film and TV, that guided me to Strasbourg and where I wanted my goals. You need to set out your goals and you go, this is where I want to be. This is my timeline.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? You need to have goals. You can't just pretend and live in a fantasy little land that, oh, I'm an actor. Oh, okay, I'm an actor. But you need to like be doing auditions, and you need to have guidance. And these people that I just said, like Greg Apps from the Audition Technique, he has guidance. So that's somebody that I would personally recommend.
Yes. So guys, you have to work hard for it. Okay, guys? Everyone's watching. You want to be an actor, so or actress. So my last question is, before we go to comments, what is your advice for an aspiring first fashion stylist?
A stylist?
Yep.
Same thing. It would be taking on a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say as a fashion stylist having to go to some kind of school or whatever. If you have a passion and a love and a drive, let that be your passion. But find somebody that is inspiring to you. And it doesn't have to be one person. You don't have to have one mentor or inspiration person. You can have 100. And out of 100, you can have write to them and go, hey, this is my dream. This is my goal. This is what I want to do in my life. Can I spend 5 minutes with you, 10 minutes with you, an hour a week with you? Because all that's going to happen is either you're going to be turned down or they're going to say yeah. And those people that say yes are people that are the foundation of where you want to be. And out of maybe 100, because you don't want to minimize yourself, right? You don't want to make yourself oh, I'm just going to choose 5 people. And then they all say no, and then that's it. It's all over Red Rover, right? You go through what magazine inspires you, what film inspires you, because as a stylist, there's all different things. It could be home styling, it could be fashion styling. There's a lot behind it. Make your mindset as well about where you want to be in the future, because you might have a mindset and then you find your mentors, because mentorship is so important, and that comes for free. They don't charge you. It's I want to be you. Anybody could have said to Stan Lee, hey Stan, I want to be just like you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people probably did, and he has influenced thousands and millions of people in many different ways. But if you were not brave enough to approach him and say that, he's got so many people that he influenced. And it's the same mindset that you have to have, that this person as a fashion stylist might not be famous. Oh, but their work's published. Oh, but you want to be just like them. Start little. You don't have to start at the top. You make your way. There's steps. Right?
Yeah, there's no easy way out. You gotta start from the bottom.
You gotta start somewhere. And you have to put the work in.
Exactly.
There's no laziness. You can't just sit there and everything's gonna land out of the heavenly gods onto your lap. No, it doesn't work like that. We gotta do the work.
That's right.
And then you need to inspire other people. Because other people in the future are going to say to you, I want to be just like you. And you want to be prepared to open your heart and go, yeah, I want to inspire you too. I want to be a mentor. And you want to see these people grow as well. So it's turning over, where we're inspiring one person and we're being inspired by others. Right?
Exactly. That's amen. Amen.
Amen.
All right, now let's read the comment.
Lord.
Ken Brown. And Ken Brown, can you act out the karate chop sense? Sense?
Okay, ready?
Oh.
Hi-ya! And then I'm turning a circle. That was me and Paul Freeman, right?
Yeah. Paul Freeman. Oh, I love that guy, especially Indiana Jones. Whew. Rosette says, love you too and miss you.
I miss you, Rosette. I love you too.
Chris J. Murphy, love you, Peta.
Love you, Chris. He's supposed to
Michelangelo.
take me for dinner when I'm in his town.
Michelangelo Bioni. Michael, what's up, man? I'm watching.
Ooh, I'm watching.
I'm
He's
scared now.
scared, right? Have you seen Ryan? Did you see the video that I did where I put Michael's face on my
Oh, yeah.
face?
Excellent. That was.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I was like.
Now I'm gonna be the weather woman.
I showed it to me and my friends.
Weather
Like, oh,
woman
yeah.
because Michael wants to be weatherman, and I'm gonna mash up his face, and I'm gonna be Michael the weather woman.
You guys didn't know the video. So you guys didn't know the video is uploaded somewhere on I think the group page of Rangerstop or your fan page. But yeah, so you can find it somewhere there. Love the shirt, Ryan. Oh, Steve Rakes, Morphin Network, Morphin TV.
That t-shirt that you're wearing for
Yep.
Sandy.
For Sandy, this is why I was supposed to wear it.
Yeah. I love you, Sandy.
Us too.
Love you, Sandy.
Rosette here again. The gang's all here. They all are here. So guys, are there any more questions to ask Peta? Leave them here. So
Quickly, because I have to go to the restroom.
quickly,
Hurry
yeah.
up. I have to go to the bathroom.
T-Rex, love you too, sweetheart.
I love you, Stevie.
Rosette, what was your favorite moment from Rangerstop?
Ooh, okay, let's see. Favorite moment, Rangerstop. So many. When I met Kirby, when I met Mike, when I met Rosette, when I met Stephanie, helping them set up. The LGBTQT panel with Carlos, representing their community. Seeing everybody, meeting new people. It was so professional. Mikey and that are just like, it's an amazing team, an amazing setup.
Yes.
And the VIP dinner, it was amazing. And the people who, like, the guests that bought the tickets and everything, that we got to swap tables. Karen was an amazing host. She did the most amazing job of hosting that. She should seriously be like a host person or something, you know, like a presenter as a professional.
Yep.
She did an amazing job. Walter was so funny. He's like a comedian. We just had the best time. It was like a big family.
I see.
Yeah.
It's a big family. Okay, so Ken Brown says, will you do Morphicon Express?
It depends. Scott Zillner.
So Scott, you're watching this?
Scotty.
God, I'll be sure to tell him when I see him in Pasadena.
That's like a Scotty invitation, right?
Yeah.
That's
like
like
that.
him.
Daniel Romano says, hey, Peta, say sorry if I'm late. No, you're not, man. You're just in time.
Hey, Daniel. Daniel, you know what he did, Ryan?
What's up?
Daniel made me an Alpha 5 helmet.
Aww.
Yeah. He made me a helmet and he sent it to me.
Shout outs to Daniel Romano.
Sweetheart.
And he says, I hate snakes too, yet my favorite Power Ranger monster is Nizzard. I'm pretty weird. I see. Jose Beltran, awesome words. Oh, their advice you gave earlier. And then Ed Young, it was a pleasure to meet you briefly at Rangerstop. Let's get you in front of the camera soon.
Eddie, I added him just like last week. So Ed's like a photographer and he does professional photography for like Rangers and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ken Lamb says karaoke. Karaoke.
Ken, my champion.
Karaoke.
We sang karaoke together.
Then Jose.
Ken is the host of karaoke.
Oh, really? We didn't hear you sing one time. Jose Peltrin.
Somebody posted me singing.
Really? Well,
Hurry up. I have to go to the restroom. Hurry
I know.
up. Hurry.
Two more guys because she has to.
I'm going to have to like cancel you and like put you on pause or something. Go to the bathroom, come back.
Yeah, she should come to
that. Can I go to the bathroom, come back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm just pausing you. Hold on. after the lawnmower man, after the
Yeah.
bathroom. So everybody, there was this guy. I live in like apartments. There's 25 condos and townhouses. And just when we were supposed to go live at 10 a.m.,
Mhm.
the guy that lawns the
Oh yeah.
he's like going past and going, and I'm like, Ryan, I'm videotaping it. I can't go live. This guy's like right at my yard, like going past, and then he's got the hedger, right?
I know.
So
Hey,
that's why we were late. I apologize.
it's okay, Peta.
That was funny, right? Because I sent you the video.
So Daniel Romano, of all the props I'm making Alpha's helmet for you is probably one of the my things I've ever made. Plus, I'm glad you still love it. Aww.
Oh yeah, Daniel. I appreciate it so much. You got no idea because he took me pictures. He used like paper mache and different things, and he posted it. And I appreciated it so much. This is going back like 3 years now, I think.
Mm.
But it was a big deal to me that he took the time to do that because fans do that. You know, people in the community, Power Rangers that really appreciated you or loved your character will go out and do that stuff. And he took his time.
I see.
Yeah.
And then now our final comment is, well, actually, I had to answer a question. Rosette says, and Ryan, why were you not Rangerstop? LOL. I wasn't at Rangerstop because I am currently interning. And plus I'm broke from Morphicon, so there's that. Okay. So one more question. What color would you be if you could be a ranger? I think it's for Peta. Yeah.
Oh, for me, I would be pink because pink is my favorite color.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, it's already the 1 hour mark. Thank you, Peta, for being our special guest.
You are welcome.
And thank you for everyone for being part of
I
this.
hope I answered everybody's questions. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys are still like in the Rangers fandom and everything. And I hope that we grow stronger together forever. Yeah. With Hasbro taking over and everything. And I just saw like all the toys a few toys have been released.
Yes, appreciate. Oh, and Peta, one more question for you.
Yes.
From Craig, this last one. Who is your favorite Ranger?
My favorite Ranger is Karen Ashley. And wait, Karen's my favorite because I love Karen, which is Aisha. And then next would be Nakia because she is so beautiful. And I love her faith and her belief in God.
Mm-hmm.
I love her stories and her posts. If you follow her posts and her faith, that's something that's to be adored and loved.
Yes.
So Karen, Nakia.
And then John says hi. Hey,
oh, and David as well. I love David. Actually, and I love so many of them. But David would be third in line. Like if I had a line, you know what I mean? Like I don't want anybody to be unequal, but I love that they're doing the order.
Yes.
That is so exciting, right?
Yes.
Like this is something new. This is something that all the Power Ranger fans can now follow. They've got their comics. They're like going to be doing the film. This is a big deal. This is something that's going to grow. They're like the Stan Lee of the next generation kind of thing because they have been brave enough. Not everyone's that brave that comes out of like comics to create something new.
Yes.
And it's something that we should support. And every Power Ranger fan should be supporting them and encouraging because that's what we want. We want encouragement. We want support.
It is true. All right, guys. Right? It is true, and that's great advice. That is a great advice. So, by the way, before we leave, Peta, where can we find you in social media?
At official Peta-Marie Rixon. I think Peta, PETAMAREERIXON official. look that up. You can Google, if you just Google my name, like there's a lot of links out there that you can find me on. And then even Ryan, like go to Ryan and say, hey Ryan, are you
Yeah.
friends with her? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you go, well, here's her page here. And then you just share it.
Yeah,
Share it with
just
everybody.
literally mutual
Share the
friends.
love.
You can find it. You can find me on Instagram, Daggerboy247 for Facebook.
Oh yeah, because somebody made a fake Instagram page
Yeah.
of mine.
Yes. Keep that
So
in
I had a
mind.
month of people trying to break into my Facebook account about 4 or 5 times a week. And then I finally gave in to Instagram and made an Instagram. And then the next thing I know,
Fake account.
somebody's made an Instagram too using my name. And they were adding all my followers and everything. So I'm very particular with that because I don't want people to be exploited. Because you could be on my Facebook, for example, and I'm not a person that sells pictures online or autographs online or anything. But this person with a fake account might go, well, I'm just going to like fake her signature and sell stuff, sell pops or whatever. And you're going to be exploited. You're going to be sold fake stuff. And I get worried about that. I don't want somebody to be ripped off.
So guys, be careful on the internet. And yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Pia, for your time and this Morphin Network. And hope to see you guys again. See you next time. Bye, guys.